Hello and welcome to a prime example of why the Range Rover Sport never sticks around for very long in our prestige collection. People absolutely love what these cars offer for the money, and this is a prime example. Of course, it's a facelift generation car from 2015, and for under £19,500, even though it's barely covered 75,000 miles, which, as anyone knows, for a torquey diesel engine is nothing. That is, of course, in addition to being finished in, as you can tell, Italian racing red with the striking choice of interior colour, and it definitely suits it with that red exterior. Also, of course, it has a full service history behind it, still has its book pack and 2 keys intact, in fact with a November MOT as well, and its most recent keeper, having owned it for 4 years. It's the definition of ready to go, and clearly it has served them very, very well. Now, being of course a HSE dynamic with the 3-litre SD V6 engine, which tends to be the most popular choice of trim and engine to pass through our collection, certain things are a given. So on the one hand, you have of course plenty of horsepower, but crucially even more torque. 300 horses is very healthy. 440 foot-pounds of torque though is really what that engine is all about. Of course, it means that towing, perhaps as a holiday vehicle, it takes that in its stride. Long distance cruising, even daily driving, the engine is never working hard. Again, a primary reason why 75,000 miles is nothing for an engine like that. Complementing that though is one of 2 reasons why these are so much more in demand than even the Range Rovers which came before them is number 1, efficiency. Their fuel economy is such a huge leap ahead of the Range Rovers which came before. In fact, these can average up to 40 miles to the gallon, and again on a motorway it gets even better, as high as 44. And particularly these days when vehicles like Range Rovers, some newer, some older, are being very, very heavily hit on tax, not so here. This is £335 a year, with some other examples of older Range Rovers, for example, being as high as 740. At the same time, being of course first and foremost a luxury vehicle, it is very, very well equipped. It has that touchscreen display, multiple 12-volt power outlets, of course Bluetooth, auxiliary and USB connectivity, an 8-speaker sound system, built-in sat-nav, voice-activated sat-nav in fact, cruise control as you would hope for of course, reverse camera and front and rear parking sensors, and even an optional extra added to this particular example of the solar attenuating windscreen. It also of course has dual-zone climate control, as well as already the acres of room, both for luggage and for passengers, which you would expect in a Range Rover. So across the board you have the look, the road presence, the space, certainly the striking styling, in particular with that red zone leather, and far better tax and far better fuel economy than the outgoing Range Rovers which came before it, but still for under £19,500. It almost goes without saying, but of course this Range Rover is not going to stick around in our collection for very long, so if you would like to reach out regarding it, of course you could send us an email to the address shown right here on screen, or of course give us a call on 01749 871 155 or on our mobile number of 07482 267 439.